today we're going to be talking about how hearing loss has affected my daily life and routine and how I deal with it. So let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is pretty obvious, and that's how do I speak with other people and how do I interact, and how I deal with that is I wear hearing aids. So right now I have the Phonak Brio 2R. It's the 2018 model and I have it in the color chestnut. I really like these because the tip goes right into my ear and it slides right into the back of my ear, which is the device hangs. And the way I turn it on is there's a little clasp that the battery goes into, and then all I need to do is turn it on is just to slide the clasp right on in, and then that will fit into place, and then it will turn on and then amplify the sounds that I need to hear. I really like these because they're pretty big and they're indicated for people with moderate to severe hearing loss, which applies to me. And my hair color is pretty dark and they match my hair color, and so they're very discreet and people don't usually recognize it unless I tell them I have hearing aids. They're also really good because they can be adjusted by your provider. So for example, I really need hearing aids to be able to communicate with other people, so I have sounds such as voices and dialogue turned up, but then I have other background noises such as things going on in the background turned down, so that way I'm not distracted when I'm talking to other people. I have a pretty standard Phonak model, but there are others that actually can connect to Bluetooth and connect to other pairing devices, which is really great because sometimes they can help you listen to the phone and listen to music and other things like that without ever having to take off your hearing aids. Another thing I want to talk about is something I do really often, which is listen to media, watch TV, and movies. So how do I do that? It's pretty obvious. Nowadays, most platforms have closed captioning or auto-generated captioning, so that's pretty easy for me. I just need to turn it on, and then I have captioning right at the bottom of the screen where I can follow the dialogue right when the video is playing. I think that's a little trickier is when I go to a movie theater and I need captioning and I can't hear what's going on in the movie unless there's some sort of captioning for me. And I get asked that a lot, like how do I deal with that? There's actually a lot of different devices that can help with captioning. So I'm going to talk about my preferred one first, which is a captioning glasses. And how these work is they fit on just like normal glasses, but they're attached to some wires that connects to a box device, which will power captions to the lenses. So what you're doing is you're basically watching the movie on the screen through these glasses and having the captions at the bottom of the lenses appearing as the movie's playing. And I really like these because you can just angle your head how you want it, and as long as you're facing the movie, you can see the captions playing as you're watching the movie. And so you never have to look down or to the side or anywhere else but the movie. So it's just like watching a regular video with captioning at the bottom of the screen. There are certain movie theaters that don't have that, and another thing they have is a captioning device. It's a boxy kind of device that will display the captions, and there's a clip to it that you actually attach to the back of the movie seat right in front of you. The way it works is as you're watching the movie, if you want to see the captions, you're going to have to look down into the text box. And I don't really like it because it kind of takes away from watching the movies. You can't really watch them simultaneously. You can't really watch them simultaneously. You have to watch them differently and separately. So I would really prefer the lens when it comes to captioning at movies. And the way you get them is really easy. I just walk to the movie theater and go to guest services, and then I just say that I need captioning, and they happily let me borrow their captioning device, which I return at the end of the movie. Another thing I really like to do is listen to music, and I feel like people wonder if I like music or not because of my hearing aids. And to be honest, I'm not really the best at determining what the lyrics are of a song, so that's the only takeaway, but I'm going to be talking about headphones. Right now I just use AirPods, which are really great, and they fit really snug into my ear, and I can hear pretty much all sound and media really well. I really like over-the-ear headphones as well. When it comes to picking out a pair of headphones, I am pretty comfortable with all kinds of it as long as they have a option to be turned louder, because most of the time I need my device to be turned louder than what a normal hearing person would like. If your device is not loud for you, there's always an option to turn up your output on your computer. All you need to go is to the sound preferences part of your computer and then turn up the output part, and that should raise the sound that's coming out of your headphones. Another thing I want to talk about that is usually a part of my daily life is speaking in general. I don't really hear as well as others do, and in that way I don't really have as much experience and practice as hearing examples of how other people speak. So sometimes I have some issues with getting out my ideas and what I want to say, and the way I deal with that is just basically practice. So even like filming this video, I needed to go over what I wanted to say several times, and I practiced it in front of a mirror. If I have a big presentation coming up, then I make sure to practice several times and record myself, and then just make sure I get everything I want to say in and that it runs smoothly. I know I still have some stuttering issues sometimes, and I know I say a lot, so I really make sure to cut that out and really get down what I want to say concisely as possible and make sure it comes out smooth. Another thing I can discuss is head accessories and things that go around my head area that might bother my hearing aids. So one thing that's pretty obvious is glasses. I'm pretty much blind. I can't really like see without any glasses, and so I do have traditional glasses, but sometimes the part that goes around my ear hurts after a while of wearing both my hearing aids and my glasses. So the way I deal with it is just I got contacts. I know like some people said that it's kind of uncomfortable, it makes their eye itch, but I've never really had a big issue with contacts. I've had them since I was 15 years old. I just put them on every morning when I wake up and take them off around 8 or 9 at night, and if I need to do any studying at night, I usually have my hearing aids off by then, so it won't be a problem with having my glasses on and hearing aids on at the same time. So I would just say go with contacts. Things like head accessories, headbands, things like that. I'm not usually a big fan of them. I feel like you don't really catch me wearing head accessories, but if I happen to be wearing one, I usually just push it a little bit farther back from my hearing aids, or I put the band part of the headband on the back of my ear away from my hearing aids, so that way it won't really bother me. But then again, I don't really wear them that often, so I prefer just to let my hair down like this most of the time and then not have to worry that much. One thing I can talk about is if you have helmets or anything that kind of goes above the entirety of your head. I do go snowboarding a lot, so I have to wear a helmet every single time, and you should too because it's a safety thing. So I have my helmet on, and it's usually cupping the entirety of my ear, and what that causes and what people experience sometimes is feedback, and that happens when you have something a little bit too close to your hearing aids and there's a lot of feedback noise, so you might hear your hearing aid screeching a lot. And the way I deal with that is I just like push my hearing aid in, like the tube part of it in, as much as I can to avoid cupping. I also loosen my helmet a little bit to avoid having it too tight around my head area, but I loosen it to a point where it won't fall off if I have too much momentum when I'm snowboarding. So one of the harder things to deal with if you have hearing loss is hanging out with friends and interacting. The experience that I've always had is that I'm very bad at hanging out in groups where everybody is talking at once, or a very loud environment where there is a lot of background noise. I prefer to hang out one-on-one with friends at a much quieter place, someplace where music isn't playing that loud, where there's not a lot of background noise to kind of distract or take away from that conversation. I feel like in big groups where everybody's talking all at once, it just sounds like a cacophony of noises going all around me, and it's very exhausting for me to try to decipher everything that everybody is saying. Most of the time, how I deal with that is I'm just very honest, and I just say that I have hearing problems. I just ask them to speak a little bit louder. Sometimes I even ask if I could just pull them away from the group a little bit just to speak with one person. That's just something I had to deal with, and that's how I deal with not being able to hear in a big environment. Another thing, it seems kind of stupid, but hand signals really help me. So if I'm at a party where it's very loud and I can't really hear, I usually ask if the person can make like a hand signal, and if they do something like, oh, do you want 2 drinks? Or do you want to talk to that person over there? Or you can get something out back. A lot of these hand signals seem dumb, but they actually really do help me when somebody's trying to explain to me what's going on. I just want to conclude with a question that I sometimes get asked, and it's if I get insecure or if any of these solutions for me bothers me or embarrasses me. And my truthful answer is that there is always going to be a level of insecurity, but I have dealt with hearing aids pretty much my whole life, and I have kind of gotten past the phase where it has been embarrassing and I have been self-conscious about it. So most of the time, no. I usually just try to stay honest with myself and with others and just let them know that this is something I go through. I feel like people knowing the truth about my hearing loss really helps them process what I'm going through too, and just have it be less embarrassing and less insecure for me in general. So hopefully the answers to these questions were a little bit helpful or informative, or helped you answer how I deal with my daily routine and how I go about life with hearing loss. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment. I'll be happy to answer any more questions about my hearing loss or anything else in general. So thank you so much.